Step 1.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a wrist pin cushion. This is what the finished product looks like, and now I'm going to show you what you need to do. First, you need to take a piece of fabric that is 4 inches across and 10 inches long. Okay? You're going to take it and you're going to measure down from the top 3 inches. And what I want you to do is get used to using a seam gauge. You're going to find that piece of equipment to be really useful for you. And all it is a 6-inch ruler, and it has a bookmark, so it saves the place for you. So you're going to set it to 3 inches, right like that. And then you're going to measure down from the top, and you're going to put a mark right there at the 3-inch mark. Over here, again, you're going to put a mark at the 3-inch mark. And I wrote this down for you right here, so you remember it's 3 inches from the top. Next, you're going to take a piece of elastic. And the elastic can be, it could be a 1/4 inch, this is 1/2 inch, it could be 3/4 inch, and you're going to put it around your wrist, and so it measures about your wrist length. Don't tug it, don't make it too tight and not too loose, but you want it to just be right about your wrist length. Then you're going to take it off and you are going to measure 1 extra inch. And you're going to cut it. So here it is, that's my wrist measurement. I'm adding 1 inch to it. So right here, I'm then going to cut it off. Okay. On the piece of fabric that you've measured down 3 inches, you're then going to take a pin and you're going to pin this piece of elastic first to one side, and let me show you how you do it. It's a little bit tricky to do, but I think you'll be able to do just fine. You want to pin it right over the dot that you've made, and you're going to take a needle, or I should say, a pin, and you're going to pin right through your elastic like that, and then you're going to sew it. Okay? So right at the edge, using the edge of your presser foot, I want to move it over a bit. Put the pin in again, and notice the way I'm pinning it. The point of the pin is pointing toward the edge of the fabric, but you want to move it. You want to move that pin out of the way, and you never want to run over a pin. You use, you lower your presser foot like this. Quietly, silently, and you always hold up the 2 ends of thread. That's the upper thread and the lower thread. You want to hold on to them so that they don't get caught in your stitches. And you want to hold them down, and you're going to go forward 3, and you're going to lift the lever, or you're going to make the U-turn button so you can go backwards 3. That's called reinforcing. And then I'm going to get to the end of that. I'm going to go backwards 3 and forwards 3. So you've sewn it on really, really secure. Then you're going to take the thread and you just jiggle the hand wheel back and forth so you can release the thread, and you're going to cut off the ends, and you're going to clip off the starter ends of the thread as well. And you can take out the pin. Then you're going to take the other end of your piece of elastic and you're going to sew it on to the other side. Again, use the pin it down, point the pin toward the side of the fabric, push the pin in, push the pin out, and you're going to lower the presser foot silently. And now you're going to start the sewing, and you're going to remove the pin. You don't want to get that in the stitches. Okay, I'm securing it to both edges of my fabric, and I just put it really close to the edge. All I did was use the edge of my presser foot as my guideline. Now you're going to see that you have a little bit of extra elastic here. So what I want you to do is I want you to bend it over, and I want you to secure it down. Notice that I'm aiming to make this loop of extra elastic in the middle. I don't want any of the loop that I'm making here to stick out over the edges where it's going to be sewn. So I'm going to just pin that down because we want to keep that out of the way, and you'll see why in just a moment. Alright, so I have this ready to go, and now I'm going to take the end of my fabric and I'm going to fold it right sides together. This is called the right side, and this, of course, is called the wrong side. That's the way fabric's always referred to. The side that has the print is considered the right side. So now I'm going to put my fabric right sides together, and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to line up the two edges, and I'm going to pin it down. Now when you pin, you always put the point of the pin to the outside of your fabric, outside edge. So I'm going to do it here. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Pin it in, pin it out. Pin it in, pin it out. Okay. Now I'm going to sew the edge of both edges, but I'm going to use the 5/8 inch mark right here on the throat plate. That's how we're going to use our measurement. So I'm going to go forward 3, backwards 3, and then I'm going to go forward, and as I get to each pin, I'm going to be removing it. But I'm watching the whole time to make sure the edge of the fabric goes right along the 5/8 inch mark. Now I can feel I'm coming up to the elastic. So I also know that I've got a pin holding it down. Make sure you don't run over the lump of elastic or the pin. And you shouldn't if you've pinned it correctly. Okay, I'm taking out the pin as I go before I get to it. And I'm going to reinforce again at the end of the stitch line. I'm going to work my thread out about 5 inches by jiggling the hand wheel back and forth. I'm going to cut it off, and now I'm going to do this side. I'm going to hold up the threads as I always do. I'm going to lay the edge of the fabric on the 5/8 inch mark. I'm going to lower the presser foot, forward 3, backwards 3, remove the pin. I'm going to sew all the way along. Remember, after 10 stitches, you can let go of those loose ends. I'm just going to keep sewing all the way down till I get to the end. Backwards 3, forward 3. Release at least 5 inches of thread. Snip it off here. I'm going to cut off the starter ends of both of my seams. Get rid of those threads. Okay. Oops. Okay. Then I'm going to take my pincushion to be, and I'm going to fold it. I'm going to turn it right side out. Please be careful because you do have the pin there holding your elastic. I'm going to take the tip of my scissors, and I'm going to put them inside this little pouch that I made, and I'm going to poke the corners out very carefully because you don't want to rip through. You just want to use something that's sharp. You can use a pencil, or you can use a closed pen, or you can use the point of the scissors as long as you're careful. Alright, so now I have a pouch and I have my elastic. This is what it looks like so far, but you can see it's kind of wrinkled. The next step you're going to do is you're going to tuck in the ends about maybe 3/4 of an inch. Do you see them on the inside? And the way that you do it evenly is you just have to eyeball it, but you give it a really tight pull, right? And then you need to iron it. Okay? So this is what it looks like ironed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around the edges. Let me show you what I mean. See how this one has, it's a border that I'm going to make with the thread? That's what you're going to do next. So you're going to put it on the top side of your pincushion, and you're going to hold the elastic. This is the really important part. Make sure you hold the elastic back. You don't want it in a big buckle up like that. You want it being held back. And now you're going to use the edge of your presser foot to make that border. So I'm going to hold the threads up. I'm going to start down a little bit. I'm not going to start at the top. I'm going to start right here, and I'll show you why. Right? So you're down about 1/2 inch from the edge, and you're going to use the edge of your presser foot to go right along the whole entire pincushion. Remember to keep the elastic pulled back. I get to the corner, I'm going to make a pivot. So when I think I get to the right spot to leave enough border on this side, I'm going to lower the presser foot. I'm going to keep the needle down. I'm going to raise the presser foot, and I'm going to go the next direction. And I'm going to go like this. You're basically trying to stay right about the edge of the presser foot. Then you're going to take that piece of elastic and you're going to bring it down. Bring it down underneath. See what I'm doing? I'm pulling it back to get out of the way. I'm going to lower the presser foot. And now I'm going to sew right across that elastic on the underneath side. Then I'm going to take a playing card. This is my secret weapon now. I'm going to take the playing card and I'm going to fold it exactly in half. And I'm going to take a little bit of stuffing right here. And I'm going to put that stuffing, or it's called polyester fiber fill. Some people like to call it cotton, but it's not cotton because it's actually polyester. And I'm going to clip off all the ends of the thread, and I'm going to put in this card. And the card is so that when you're using the pin cushion and you actually need to put the pins in it, you don't end up stabbing your wrist because it's right in the back there. So on the underneath side of your opening, you're going to slip in the card. Then you're going to put in a lot of stuffing. You want this really, really full, this pin cushion. So I'm going to put the stuffing in, and I'm going to add even more. So you have like about a handful, that much stuffing that you're going to need for this project. And I'm going to push it in as far as I can. And you want to get it all the way in so that it clears the edge of your opening. All right, see there's where the edge is. And you got to push it back beyond that. Then I'm going to take a pin, and I'm just going to pin this closed, just like this. And I'm going to sew it up. And I'm going to, well, I think some of my stitches came undone here, so I'm going to fix that up as I go around the front part of my pin cushion. Hold on to my ends. And you don't want to sew on the card. You want to make sure that you can feel that card is in there really well. I'm pivoting. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to join the stitches that I started here. And then I'm just going to cut off my loose threads. Check and make sure that I've got everything off. And there you have it. This is the wrist pin cushion. You just make sure that you get it right on your wrist, and then you can add your pins to it. And that card there in the bottom keeps the pins from harming you. Okay, good luck.